Today we are going to take a look on all the new cockpits for the new aircraft. Hello guys, once again it's Matt. Thank you all the members and patrons. Make sure to subscribe, and we are in the dev server again. We are here in the F-15C, and I wanted to show to you guys every single new cockpit for the new aircraft. So let's start with the F-15C as I was saying, with the MSIP version of it. It is pretty interesting, guys, I gotta say. As you can see, it has the helmet mounted sight with plenty of information. We have basically an RWR on that little screen over there, like a little top left kind of situation. We have altitude, we have the speed in knots, we have the compass down there, we have the type of like arm. I think it's for the missiles, right? I think. But yeah, the acceleration as well. I don't know exactly. What is this, the 1.1 there? Oh, it's the G, right? Yeah, it's the G. So plenty of information that many of the other helmet mounteds already have, but it's pretty cool. And with that, we have the brand new MFD. Basically, right? The F-15s, they received a new type of cockpit and a new MFD. As you see, it's pretty cool. It's a lot more modern than the original one, of course, than the A. And yeah, as you see, the RWR is pretty like well designed over here in the same way that the indie game is right now, but still it is pretty cool to see it like that. Of course, we have the radar screen over there as well, so for simulator it is pretty cool. And we have the MFD, as I said. So if you change the weapon, over there, like you show it's ready. I have to unclick the C to actually change it, but yeah, it is changing between ready on the AIM-9 and on the AIM-120. And if we even like look for targets over here, we can even look at them right there, right? So yeah, it is pretty cool that you can do this. Let's see. Yeah, it appears there, so you can basically just do this, right? Like, so you can do this. Target is selected. We have the AIM-120. We can click the button to the missile to be ready. We have a lock, and we're gonna fire, and the missile appears right there, as you see. So it is pretty cool, guys. Like, I cannot wait to fly. And it was already for the next missile. If you fire another one, it disappeared from the MFD there, and you can see both missiles going for the target right there. Let's wait and see while they destroy the target. If you get a proper lock, it shows a different thing as well. So yeah, this is very fun, and hopefully this type of thing is added for every aircraft in the game. So yeah, the cockpit is pretty amazing on the F-15. We have also a very cool HUD, of course, you know, with the gun and everything, with the types of, you know, of course that's the aiming reticle because of the radar lock, but yeah, so of course it's a normal American HUD, but it is pretty cool, guys. So yeah, very excited to fly this thing on simulator battles. It is going to be very fun. Let's get to the next one. And here we have the ICE F4F, okay, the improved in capability F4F that the Germans are receiving. We are taking off over here. It is very similar to the German ones, the original one. Let's see if where's the flare, the flap button? I don't know where it is. Probably there. I don't know. But yeah, very cool, as you see. And yeah, it is very similar to the ones in the other F4s, but it is improved a little bit. As you see, it is with the RWR working pretty well there. The HUD is a little bit different, but pretty much the same. And then we have a radar screen over there, you know. And of course, in these MFDs, I have to check on the F-15. We're gonna check in other F-15s, but I'm pretty sure you can choose to actually choose some of this stuff in the cockpit over here. Let's see if there's anything. Mode in the cockpit. This is for like the gun for ground targets if you have bombs and stuff. So yeah, it's basically changing there. You can change it up, of course. And yeah, the radar is there. It's pretty cool. We have TWS. Let's try to find a target. Where are the targets over there? Let's see if we can actually use only the internal cameras and stuff. yeah, so you can do the same as the F-15 over here. You can use just this screen. You can just choose the target over here, click the button to warm the missile up, and fire the missile. And it will go to the target. It is showing where the missile is as well. So it is a little bit more modern than the original radars for the F4, right? But it makes sense. I mean, it's an APG-65, so very, very good. And I hit the target. It's right there. So very, very cool. Pretty interesting. I think this one is one of those that you still need like a way to, let's see. Yeah, you don't know if the target is looking downwards or upwards, as you see. So it is a little bit, I mean, sideways, yeah, but in the actual tilting of the antenna, it doesn't show anything. So you still need to use that radar screen, but it is a pretty interesting cockpit and very similar to the other ones. Let's get to the next one. The Junkers 87s, they got new cockpits as well. I'm not gonna show too much of it, but yeah, they are right here, and they're pretty cool. Pretty more like they way more well designed than before, and yeah, it looks very, very cool to see these type of older aircraft receiving new types of cockpits. Apparently, all the Junkers 87s, the Stukas, received of course, new cockpit, so very, very good. Imagine how uncomfortable it is to be sitting in this for hours and hours and hours and hours in a cramped aircraft. It is already cramped enough in like a Cessna 152. Imagine something like this with this type of chair. Jesus Christ. But yeah, war, right? Let's get back to another aircraft. And then we have something like this, the Su-27 SM, the new aircraft that is coming for the Soviet Air 3, right? You can see that it is very much based on the original Su-27. It doesn't change much, but it is a little bit different on the front part over there with the new MFDs, right? Of course, it has the same HUD as before. You can see the weapon systems and everything. KH-29TD down there, like right in the top, in the bottom right corner. We have the bombs, the R-77s, the R-73, so you can choose and it changes. Of course, we have the MFD, which is a very good one, actually. If you take a look on here, you can, you know, scan everything. You don't even need to use the radar screen, and even the inclination of the radar is showing there. As you see, the inclination of the radar, like the antenna. We have the RWR in the middle, and then a camera for example, I'm using the KH-29s over here to use as the main camera for the missile, right? Because obviously this thing is not using any pods right now, so yeah. Of course, you have the normal common IRs, helmet mounted, you know, for the Soviets and Russians. I mean, it's just a normal one for certain features. But yeah, very, very cool. And of course, if you change the mode in here, let me change it up. Sorry, it's this one. TWS, it will change right there as well. It is doesn't show what is the version that it is, but it helps you with the bars and stuff and some other things. So let's fire a missile over here before we check it out some of the other stuff. Where's the targets? There. Oh, this is cool. If you click downwards, oh my god, this aircraft is very modern. It goes down with the flaps depending on the speed that you are. That's actually pretty interesting. So if you choose TWS over here, let me just put it right there. Why is not the target showing? Yeah, there. So yeah, as you see on the radar screen there, same thing. You can just choose the target. Let me change it to the R-77, and you can just click on the right side there. It appears the distance and everything, and you can fire the missile, and it will be the same as the other ones. It will show where the missile is, and it's actually going to hit the target. So it is pretty interesting to see something like this. Of course, the RWR in the middle, always showing the ADATs over there as well. So very, very cool. And hit. So very, very cool. Of course, we can try to change. Let's see. If I can actually... I'm sorry if the video is too long, but this is very interesting for me. You can change the modes. For example, switch MFD mode 1. You can change to a navigation screen for that side, or the camera, or the radar. You can do this for the middle and get like a flight kind of parameters there with attitude of the aircraft, speed, altitude, and you know, rate of climb, which is pretty cool. And it's just these two modes. And of course on the it's not changing anything. Yeah, the right screen is always the camera apparently, but yeah, it is pretty cool. Of course, if you try to use the cameras to actually do something like lock something and stuff, you can actually see the targets. Hold up, let me just see that. So for example, I'm trying to lock over here into this target. So it's locked, and as you see, it is looking where the target is. If you go to the MFD over here and change the zoom, you can change the zoom to the camera as well, and you can fire the missile. So it is pretty cool. And yeah, it's a way of knowing where the targets are and stuff, so it is pretty interesting. And of course, if you can if you choose the bombs, for example, it will appear where the targets are, you know, and when you have to drop them. So yeah, as you see right there, it's working pretty well. So let me just have a time to comment on this. It is pretty interesting, right? So if you choose a target there, it doesn't matter where it is, you have to fly directly to the little circle there, and then when the little arrow line over there goes down in 0, you drop the bomb. Okay, so you just fly towards the circle there, and when it drops to 0, you drop the bomb, and then bomb will be dropped there. This helps with, for example, flying and doing missions, for example, for ground attack with laser guided stuff and stuff. It's kind of sensitive, the circle, but still you can use it very well. So it is pretty good, and you can drop the bomb using CCRP, right? And of course, if you use CCIP as well, you can use it right there. Rockets are like that and everything. Too high of a speed, hold up, and you just drop the bomb where you want it, and it will be dropped directly into the place. So it is a very, very good cockpit for this Su-27 SM. Let's get to the next one. This video is already too long. I gotta be honest, for the Tornado F3, the new Tornado F3, I'm not gonna show too much because it's pretty much the same as the original, okay? The only thing that is very cool about this compared to the other ones is that it shows the mode that you are using up top there. So it is pretty good because of that. You can choose where the target is and fire on it as well. So very good, but it is pretty much the same as the other Tornadoes, okay? And here we have the MiG-21 UPG, or the Dash 93, or the Bison, or whatever you want to call it. It's the same as the Biz, as you see, but with some modifications, like the HUD. It is a modern HUD, as you see, just like an Su-27 MiG-29. So the same things that I showed to you guys in the Su-27 SM will be here. And of course, it has an MFD down there, and an INS, or a, like, probably this is like, what, a GPS? I don't know. It's a navigation system that shows where you are. I don't think that's the correct map, but still, if you get into a correct match, it will, I think, appear as so. So it is a very, very interesting, you know, radar, or cockpit in general. And let's see if we can change something here. I think you can change it up for the zoom and stuff when you have the TV camera or the TV missiles. Ah, we are in the correct map, actually. Yeah, we are. Sorry, for some reason I thought it was the wrong map. But yeah, you can change this to the TV camera for you to use on the actual TV guided stuff that this thing can actually carry. And of course, it has the RWR there. So very, very cool cockpit. And it has the helmet as well. So very cool. Very cool. Let's get back to the hangar and show the Sea Harrier. The Sea Harrier is also another one that received kind of a different cockpit. It's very similar to the original Sea Harrier, but in some things it is very different as well, right? So let's just take off and show to you guys. But the main thing is, of course, the it's a more modern aircraft in general, but the main thing are the MFDs, as you see. So it is using a very modern MFD, as you see, with the radar repetitor there, which can be used to acquire locks and stuff and try to get locks, as you see over here. You can, of course, fire the missiles and everything that the normal MFDs are receiving. And of course you have a repetitor of the HUD there, something that like the MiG-29 has, for example. You can even change it up, let's see, the mode 1 to a INS system as well. And if I'm not mistaken, you might be able to change it up, yeah, for the radar and for an actual camera, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember if this thing carries Mavericks. I don't think so, but if he could, he can actually see it, but I don't think he does. Let me just check. Yeah, it's just normal unguided stuff. So yeah, no cameras for the Mavericks because there's no Mavericks. But yeah, very cool aircraft and very cool cockpit to play in simulator battles. For the F-15J, let's take a look. And I'm gonna bring some bombs over here, but it doesn't have any guided stuff, so I guess it doesn't matter. But yeah, let's get back to the cockpits. Very similar to the American one, as you see. The main difference is that it doesn't have the digital MFD over here. The armament is still like the F-15A, so this is the main difference between the two. Everything else is pretty much the same as the other ones. It still has the helmet and it still has the radar MFD, and I mean just a radar screen. It's not an MFD, right? But yeah, and the RWR and a normal cockpit. So it's a little bit older than the other ones. Let's see if we can actually change. Yeah, you can change to a repetition of the HUD and the radar screen. So very cool, but very similar to the F-15A for the F-15JM. In the J11, we have basically the same as the J11, the normal J11. Okay, this is the J11A. The only thing is that I think the radar screens there is a little bit reworked, a little bit, not by much. But everything else is basically the same. Analog cockpit, as you see, uses the same radar, of course. So it's just a modernization to carry the R77 and some minor things domestically. So for example, the HUD is a domestic build. As you see, it's written in Chinese and not Russian anymore. Although Gaijin didn't translate this, but yeah, it is a mix of Russian and Chinese. But I'm pretty sure that if it was a proper Russian aircraft, Chinese aircraft, you would all have Chinese writing, right? Just Gaijin that didn't add the corrections, but still, the HUD is in Chinese because it's a domestic design. But everything else is pretty much the same as the other Su-27s. And here we go for the AMX, guys. The AMX is very cool, and I gotta be honest, it looks like a Mirage cockpit. If you never see this and you just posted this picture, a lot of people would think that it's a Mirage cockpit. It's very similar because of the way that it's designed. It feels like you are in a Mirage 2000 for some reason. So very different, but the same, very similar to something like that. As you see, RWR over there. We have the MFD here for the camera of the pod, of course. Of course, you can change to the radar screen, but of course, this is just a normal aiming radar, so it doesn't change too much. You have a repetition for the HUD and the nav system as well. So very cool. And of course, you can change it up for a night vision. I think this button is supposed to do something else. Of course, you have the zoom in there, but this should be like a thermal system for that as well. So very cool, but very similar to other aircraft as well. So yeah, you can see that it has the screen right there. If you fire the bomb, it will turn itself on the laser. So yeah, very cool cockpit, very simple, of course. Has CCRP, has everything that you need in a HUD as well. So yeah, nothing too major to talk about it. It's a very cool aircraft. Let's see the bomb hit. Yeah, direct hit. Very cool. In the French, we have multiple aircraft, but just to be quick about, here's the F-16 AM. Very similar to like an MLU, basically the same as the MLU. You have the radar screen there with the proper coloring. Very cool to fly in simulators. We have the INS there, MFDs, of course, and the HUD over there. You have the helmet, of course, and here, obviously, depending on the weapon system that you can take, you can change it up you know, with the MFD buttons over here, nav system, radar. You can have, for example, the TV system as well, and everything like that. You can do that for the other one. You can switch to night vision and have a zoom. So pretty much the same as we already saw, but in an F-16. So very, very cool. In the normal one, the Block 15 normal one, as you see, the older screen is down there, of course. And it's just a simple radar and everything. So yeah, much simple cockpit, but very cool to see these differences. For the Mirage 5BA, normal cockpit, as you see. For the Mirage 5s, nothing crazy. And by the way, the Fokker G1 doesn't have a cockpit yet. Hopefully it gets one when it's added, but yeah, it doesn't have a cockpit, just for your information. For the Gripen C, sorry, it is kind of an updated cockpit from the A, you know. It's very similar, but similar to what we already had, okay, in the other Gripens. So you can see that it has the inertial navigation system, comms, everything, like flight control systems, basically. We have the RWR, the radar, just very big screens, the HUD, very interesting, but we already had something like this. Of course, you can change it up to other things, you know, depending on what you want. The 3 mode is not working, but still, let's get to the last aircraft. And for the last one, the Macho Parabas, which is the upgraded F-15 for the Israelis, pretty much the same as the F-15C. As you see, you have the RWR there. F-15 MFD, so kind of a bug there, but still. You have the helmet, of course, as you see. The HUD is the same. The radar screen is the same. And the MFD is basically the same, as you see. So, yeah, conformal fuel tanks there. The chaff and flare, everything like that. So, very, very good. Very, like, it's, I mean, it has some bugs, as you see, but it is very much the same as the other F-15. So, this is it, guys, for the new cockpits. Of course, there are always other aircraft, but this video is already too long. The objective was to show to you guys the new jet specifically and some of the props. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe. Let me know in the comments what do you want to see next. See ya, guys. Bye.